Hello everybody, welcome to Monday Morning Must-Knows. My name is Merlin Ralphin, and we've got some exciting stuff to talk about for the upcoming trading week. Now, I always say exciting stuff for the upcoming trading week, but is it really as exciting what happened last week? All that volatility created some amazing opportunities. We had gigantic down moves, which had people looking like Macaulay Culkin going, oh! And then you have these huge up moves. Great opportunity for the short-term and long-term investors here, so hopefully you got a chance to capitalize on some of that. This upcoming week, I just don't see there being that extent of volatility. However, you never know. Markets will always throw things at you and do what you least expect, as my mentor used to tell me. So we'll start things off with our earnings calendar, because that is where a lot of the volatility has been starting. Good news for us is only one day really has some big names on it. Let's start things off on Monday with Barrick Gold. Not the biggest name, but it's a nice gold refining company. On Tuesday, you've got Home Depot. That's a pretty important one. Wednesday brings you Cisco Systems and UBS. And then probably the biggest day of the week is going to be on Thursday. As you can see here, you've got Walmart, Alibaba, Applied Materials, John Deere, Ross Stores, JD.com. And what this does, it kind of starts that doorway to be open for retail sales. And there are quite a few numbers being reported this week, and then next week it's even more. We also have the retail sales numbers actually happening this week as well, and I'll give you that one here in just a little bit. So here's some names to pay attention to for the upcoming trading week. Again, Walmart, Ross Stores, Home Depot on that retail sector, which might define what that whole market segment does, and therefore give you guessed it, some opportunity. All right, let's move on to the next big topic for the United States, which is inflation. I know you're probably sick of it like I am. It seems like every time I do a Monday Morning Must-Knows, I gotta talk about PPI, CPI, core PCE, Jerome Powell, interest rates. Oh, it's just redundant over and over and over again. But let's be honest, as bored as you are with it, it's what drives the markets. So we got to start there. We'll look at the first number, which comes out on Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. That's the producer price index. Now they flipped it this week. Usually it goes consumer price index, then producer. This week they're doing PPI first. I don't know who makes these rules. It's not me, but PPI will be Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. And you can see right there on your screen, it's got 0.2. That is the expectation right now. You can see the previous number, they actually expected 0.1. We came out at 0.2. Right now, the expectation is we're going to stay at 0.2 on PPI. Now, here's where things start to shift just a little bit. Let's bring on the consumer price index numbers, which is going to happen the next day, Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. And you can see that the previous expectation was that we were going to have a 0.1 gain. We actually had a negative 0.1, meaning deflationary. That was great. Markets rejoiced to both these numbers, and we saw big moves last time we saw the PPI and CPI numbers reported. However, this time is slightly different. If you notice on the right-hand side there on CPI, the previous number was negative 0.1. Right now, the expectation is that we're going to jump to 0.2, which is a little bit higher than what we had before. So that's not exactly good news to see inflation rise up. Personally, though, I kind of feel like I'm in the camp of you set the bar so low that when you beat it, people freak out. So what do I mean by that? Right now, the expectation is we're going to see inflation jump to 0.2%. Now, we've already seen a slow trickle down. I mean, just look at the chart here. On that CPI, you've seen lower, lower, lower for the past 4 months readings on CPI. So now the expectation they put is a higher number, 0.2. Well, what happens if we don't beat that, right? We come out at 0.1. Then everyone's going to go, wow, inflation really is under control. Well, it is increased, but it didn't increase to 0.2%. So they're like lowering the bar so much that if you don't beat it, people go, Anyway, keep your eye on the CPI numbers and PPI. These are major market movers, of course. That's going to be 1 hour before the markets open, so that will already be priced in when you get to your trading day. Now, let's move one more thing for the U.S. before we go international, and that is retail sales. So here's your retail sales numbers for Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. What's noteworthy for me is the last 5 months have been lower and lower and lower. Not only the estimate, which is that little orange or gold dash mark, but the blue bar, which is the actual numbers. We came out at 0 last time. That's not a good sign to have it come out at 0, meaning no growth in retail sales. Now, the expectation for this next reading, well, a little bit of excitement here, 0.3%. And that little red arrow we just drew on your screen, that coincides with what we saw 2 months ago. The expectations were 0.3 as well, and that is what they're expecting. So it's good news to see that the economists are expecting a higher retail sales number. We'll see if we actually get there. And finally, central banks take the stage. Well, a central bank, and only one, That will be the New Zealand Central Bank. That's the RBNZ, or the Reserve Bank of New Zealand. Their rate statement will come out Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, so well into the evening. Many of you will be asleep by then, but hey, for you Forex traders, you know there's always opportunity in that FX market 24 hours a day, almost 24 hours a day, almost 7 days a week. So maybe you will be up at that hour trading these markets, and let's see what we've got. The rate expectation is, drumroll, no, we're going to say right where we're at. 5.5% is the expectation of what's going to happen with that New Zealand dollar on Tuesday. Now, of course, all this is going to be coming out in the wee hours of the morning, well, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And a lot of you might be asleep, but for you diehard Forex traders out there, plenty of opportunity here. There's been some big swings in that New Zealand dollar recently. Over the past couple months, you saw a huge slide in the New Zealand dollar. And all of a sudden, the last 2.5 weeks, it's been a nice rally up. And that may have something to do with rate announcements or just the central bankers making statements about what they might do in the upcoming meetings for that New Zealand dollar. All when said and done, we have a good trading week, a lot of big name news, CPI, PPI, retail sales, and of course central banks like this could make for a very entertaining trading week. That, my friends, is your Monday Morning Must Knows. We'll see you next week.